One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces Life, the Pisces Life. Two fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces Life, 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 the Pisces Life.
So it was a fascinating topic, and I wanted to see what you thought about this. But, everybody is not quarantining, right, sis? And we've talked about this on our shows. Don't forget to check out our COVID-19 package we did for you guys earlier on at the beginning of the quarantine. Who knew we'd still be in it 7 months later? Don't worry, we're about to relaunch a whole new series around that. But anyhow, long story short, sis, what do you think about this? From household to household, especially if you're sharing parental responsibilities. What if they are not quarantining right in the other household?
Certainly, I'm experiencing these conversations every day, every week, every month since we've been in quarantine.
Okay.
For the Pisces Life listeners that are not aware, I did get married this year, and my husband has a son, our son, who's 11, and we have shared custody with him with his mother, who lives probably about 15 minutes from our home. And so it's been just, I would say, a cadre of challenges, and not anyone's fault, because who's ever thought that they would need to talk about shared parenting roles and responsibilities in a pandemic, right?
Right.
Some of that is very difficult already in just the general space distance. So then you add all of the pandemic and safety precautions and concerns and all that to the table, it gets even more difficult. So I would say that the issues that we've been trying to work through all stem from communication.
Yes.
And that's in any relationship. That's
period.
In any circumstance. When you have good, solid communication, which is a two-way process. It's not just about listening and talking, right? Also about communicating in the way that the person who is meant to receive the communication can consume it.
Ooh, now that's important. Say that for the people in the back. That's important.
Communication and all of its failures, it normally breaks down at this particular part. When you are not communicating in the way that the person who is meant to receive the communication consumes information.
Oh, say it, yes.
So you may be able to hit 3 bullet points in a quick text message and be like, I told you, right? I informed you, I let you know. But if the person on the other end of that communication doesn't receive text communication well, requires maybe an actual phone call. Maybe some people actually even need to see the person because they got to feel the energy, feel the intent, and to help them to contextualize what's being shared. You have to do that extra step. And I think a lot of people are resentment of that extra step because they feel like, I told you, I understand it to be what it was. But again, the third step of that process is the check-in follow-up to make sure that they heard what you said, that they consume the information and its intentions in the appropriate way. If you are in the counseling or social work or any type of those social services, they tell you that this is what's called reflective listening.
Okay.
Not only think about what was said, but you're able to actually summarize it back to ensure that both parties or the several parties that are involved in the communication can affirm that they have the same understanding. So this is a step deeper than active listening. And I think that that's where we have the most breakdowns in communications. And that is inclusive of this situation, is that when you're dealing with a parent who has their own household, their own set of rules, their own set of regulations, their own set of appointments, and how they're moving in the world based on their job, because not everybody has the opportunity to work remotely.
Right, that's
And,
true.
and so if you got a essential worker parent and non-essential worker parents, then that kind of causes conflict if you don't talk about what that looks like and what that should mean.
So important.
The other thing is that most of us just didn't expect for this to last as long as it has.
Okay,
So,
we're in month 7.
we're in month 7. So maybe in month 1, we were like, this is what we're going to do.
For 3 weeks.
Or at least until the kids get out of school or whatever. But what I have found is that, and this is something that we are guilty of as well, me guilty of as well, and I'll explain why I think it hasn't happened on my end. I think that we, as the collective parent unit of this 11-year-old, have not sat down and had a family meeting to say, this is what we think he needs. This is the things that we're doing and we'll have to do. These are the things that you're doing and we'll have to do. Now let's try to come up with a plan for how to manage that. And let's make some agreeable rules around, PPE and some, what that looks like. If
Right.
you don't like him wearing the ones that, wrap around your neck and just pull up because you don't think that those are safe enough, then say that so that we can purchase the ones that you approve of, and vice versa. Even if that's a conversation of, well, let's just have him wear both because he can't be too safe, or whatever the case may be. I just think that we have to have more planful and intentional conversations between parents, especially when you don't live in the same house, and even if you do live in the same house. So your example spoke about, custodial rights and child support, which is a whole nother conversation. But inside of a house, schedules.
Exactly.
If I got to start at 8, and today is a long day for me, I got 17 meetings. I don't really have no time to be thinking about who's making lunch and what's happening. And so then what are you doing today so that we can figure out, okay, well, you got heavy meetings this time to this time. Okay, this is typically my lunch break, but I'm going to be on call for the remote learning. Like, you got to have that succinct schedule and communication within your household when you have children and your mate and or other adults that are present, or older children that are present, to ensure that everybody's needs is getting met. I think, again, most of us just didn't think that it was going to last that long. And I think a lot of us have been just holding on to the fact that we will wake up one day and somebody will declare that it's over. Not in the way that the current occupant of the White House has declared that it's over, but in a scientific and public health related and safety way, that is over. And because we've been waiting for it to be announced that it's over, most people are thinking that when it's over, quote unquote, that then means that they can just go back to doing whatever they were doing. Not understanding that post a pandemic, there's still going to be all types of health and safety related procedures and processes and regulations that are going to govern our lives until they ensure that this thing is contained, that there's a actual set of vaccines that can help to address it, so that it becomes just a part of our manageable health and safety in everyday life. So it's just not going to go back to being normal, not just from the public health and safety perspective, but how we do work, how we earn revenue, how we communicate with each other. This 7-month period has been a significant demonstration of cost savings, bottom line revenue attainment for those types of companies that do this type of work. And so what used to be a fight to ask to work from home, y'all remember out there, you workers, when you were like, ooh, employer A, B, or C, may I please just work from home on Fridays? Fridays is a light day. My son or my daughter or my mama or whatever. And the employers would give you such a difficult time on trying to manage a work from home schedule. Well, now that we've been remote, there are offices that are closing permanently. There are call centers that were place-based that are now totally remote. So our world is still changing, and all of this is happening in the middle of a presidential election. So there's just a lot to consume in this space.
Yes.
But drawing back to your original question, we, meaning my own personal family and the adults that are responsible for the care of this 11-year-old, we absolutely need to sit down and have a family meeting so that we can talk about what we need to do better, what hasn't gone as smoothly as it could have, and come up with a set of rules and regulations. I personally wanted to do that several months ago. I think that the dynamics of my relationship with my husband and his relationship with his ex-wife and my relationship with his ex-wife, I think that is something that continues to need work. And it is difficult to operate in a environment where you feel like you have to concede all the time. Because you're trying to keep things from being explosive. So I'm a peacekeeper. I'm not about the, I've never been I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be doing all of that. Like my personality archetype is not one that is supportive of arguing. I don't argue. I just say what I have to say. And and throughout my impassioned speeches, making allowances if I feel like anything that I've said may be construed as being, disrespectful or out of tone or whatever the case may be. I understand that being the outside parent in this parenting relationship is a difficult space to occupy. We can look to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, and
can we though? Well, wait, sorry, sis.
Not as the example.
Oh, okay.
As the definition of how difficult it is when Will divorced Trey's mother, Cherie, and got a relationship with Jada, and all of that. It took all the way to the red table for us to not only know about what had happened, but to see how their relationship matured. And even now, Will Smith and his entire family, all the kids, Trey included, just received the Robin Williams Legacy Award that's given by his family for contributions, to the world. If you have a comedy, if you have a comedy space, comedy foundation space or whatever, and the whole family won, right? And they did, in most award ceremonies, they called together some sizzle reel, some video of, why they are getting this award.
Right.
Talked about the kids, but they did not reference Trey's mother.
Okay.
So they made it seem as if Trey was Jada baby.
Okay.
And that's and not that they needed to be
clarify
like
her
and Cherie,
right.
If they needed to do that. But if you didn't know that Trey had a different mother, you would think that Jada was the mother of all three of these amazing kids who are providing philanthropy to the world. And that, as an outside parent, is always a concern of mine, is to be absolutely respectful of the space. And I am not this child's mother, despite the fact that I reference him as my son, because I love him just the same. Sure. But I also feel still like I'm the outsider in that relationship. So as much as I want to be the problem solver and the peacekeeper, because that's my nature, that's how I've been trained, that's how I've been built. I'm a social worker, I'm a therapist, I'm a problem solver, I'm a design thinker. I'm all about just trying to make things be smooth. It's difficult to approach those conversations with these two sets of parents specifically. I'm not saying that that's the case for all parents, co-parenting in the COVID, but it's hard being the outside person trying to inspire through enlightenment. Like, what about this way?
Mm-hmm.
maybe
we could.
Maybe we could do it this way. Maybe it don't have to be that way at all. It's hard. And not that either one of them have ever been like, you not the mama. But
Thank God, yes.
Thank goodness. But it's very clear from the child's perspective that I am not his mama. And so it makes me feel like I have to take direction and lead from my husband.
Right.
Who's a very, he's a tall man. He has great physical presence. He's easy on the eyes, but he is so gentle and quiet on each side of his body. And so that is the exact opposite of what his ex-wife is.
Okay.
Who is very much like, hello.
Boom, boom, boom. Cat, cat.
I'm in. Where you at? I'm in. And so managing that dynamic is just been tough. But I wish the communication was just better between them, because I think that would make communication even better between
in
us.
The triad. Yeah.
And we could have some conversations about it. We certainly are the household that has more income. And that's not because it's the two of us. It's just because of what it is, right? So, some people be like, oh, it's two incomes. No, if you separated us when we were living separate, we independently still made more money than what's happening in that household, which sometimes causes a lot of questions as well as a lot of expectations.
Expectations.
And so then do you balance financial expectations in a co-parenting environment based off of who has the child more? Or based off of the fact of traditionally the mother just is supposed to get the child support? Or but if the child's been with us probably 70% of the time, should we even be paying child support at this point? And so
questions.
I don't want to pose them questions, T.
Right.
It's what I'm saying to you, T.
Right.
I admire the letter that the lady had wrote into the radio station asking for some advice on her situation. What I'm saying to you, Tisha, is I'm not going to be asking these questions. That, I believe, is going to rumble up lots of other things that we just aren't even in the right mental or emotional state due to the election, due to COVID, due to remote schooling. I'm praying for y'all parents, y'all hear me out here? I'm praying for all of us.
That remote
schooling learning environment. There's just so much that has happened as a result of this shift in our lives, and I am not trying to be the contributor of any additional emotional or mental distress or designate myself as above the problem.
Okay.
Because that can be
a problem.
Right? So sis, I'm just sitting here eating maple bacon and drinking matcha teas and just hoping for the best is what I'm trying to say.
Hoping for the best.
Apologies for the long soliloquy.
No.
I just think that was like a full range of thought. You know what I mean? I wanted to really move through that moment about the feelings of co-parenting in the COVID.
I really thank you for being so open and so transparent with myself as well as our listeners, because I really, I now as a person who has no kids and had broken up before, thank the Lord, right before quarantine, because I don't think we could have been shut up in here together. So the Lord knows all things. But anyhow, it's been a real eye-opener for some of the things. Now, I was upset, I'm going through a couple of things with our family. We've had a loss. And, it would have been nice I could have went to somebody's house or somebody could have came here or we could have gathered, but because of the pandemic, we're not able to gather and comfort one another like we normally would in a physical space. I wanted a hug from somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted somebody to put their arms around me and say, it is okay, let me have those tears. I appreciate, what it's like from household to household for different people. And I've said this on a previous show, and I'm still quite concerned about it. I mean, like to the point where it's on my prayer list. I'm concerned about people that are lonely and married. That thing bothers me. God, that bothers me. But I also was thinking about when I heard this question on another radio station, which, by the way, I can mention it, 92.1 DD Stacks. They play all the oldies in the 80s, 90s, and, you ain't going to catch nobody twerking up on there, but we going to electric slide till the lights come on. Okay. But anyway, I've been thinking about what it's like for different household management, for different people. The frustrations that I've heard from, different scenarios. In one household, there are several children who are in different grades and everybody is virtual learning. So you can't have them all in the same room. Well, you live in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house, and it's not enough for everybody. There's 2 kids sharing a room, and then the oldest has their own. So it's not physically enough space. Then it's not safe enough to take other kids, So I've been a designated safe space for a kid to come and be at my dining room table. And, then I read stories in the news about the little boy who had the BB gun that the teacher saw in the back on the bookshelf in the corner of his own house. And then, and I started thinking, well, are those matches right there by a 3rd grader? Maybe they don't think I'm safe, but little did they know I was lighting the grill. I was, I wasn't trying to, endanger the baby. I mean, you really start to think about things differently. So I'm glad that you shared that because it is something to think about, different households. I know somebody that never been a pet owner or lover in their lives, but since the quarantine, they have decided to get a pet. And when I tell you, this is the world's most spoiled, table eating food, outfit wearing, sitting in the front seat dog I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they wear matching outfits. His dog collar match her keychain to the car, and it's synced up, just in case. I said, wow. I'm seeing a whole new level of pet parenting from her, and it's just like you what, he in the house,
Doing what
huh?
now? What?
What? Right, taking your I gotta take my dog for a ride, huh? Who are you? Who are you? But she's enjoying the company of something else alive. Now I just bought 4 plants. I
Yeah.
just bought 4 beautiful plants. I was inspired by that story that you had sent me about the Latino or Latinx um, community where the youth were growing plants during this time and really turning to that as a self-soothing practice. And I bought some flower plants, sis, and I painted them. And so I'm fancy with mine.
Fancy.
I'm fancy. So I'm getting together my current hibernation projects. I did catch the Amazon Prime Day deals. I got me some new paints up in here. I've been getting into tie-dyeing, just all kinds of things. So I'm endeavoring to make my household a happy household. I do have an ex that wants to come and visit. I'm scared though, because it's like, have you been quarantining right? And
And
then that prompts a conversation.
that does prompt a conversation.
I love you, but
I love you, but what have you been doing and who have you been around? Now, in our situation, we haven't done and gone anywhere. We've been very careful about going. I mean, we don't even go to the store anymore at this point. We order everything either off of the Amazon or some other internet sites that's store specific, or
right.
use Instacart.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, if we have to go get gas, which we're not doing that much traveling, so
Right.
that happens maybe once or twice a month. But we're very much set up to be home specific, and we have our own protocol of spraying bags that come in here in boxes, and
Yes.
things sit in the garage, and just all of those kind of safety precautions just to keep us as healthy as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We know where we've been.
Amen.
We don't know where my husband's ex-wife, my son's mother, has been.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I referenced earlier in this conversation that she is certainly has a big personality,
Mm-hmm.
and she has responsibilities outside of her home,
Mm-hmm.
and family members that live in other places, and all she just has her own life that she's
Right.
living, and we're not necessarily a part of some of those things, and so we
Mm-hmm.
don't know how and why. She recently went on a trip out of state, and
Wow.
it just scared me to death, not just because of the potentially to bring things back to us. I was actually less concerned about that because
Right.
I'm burning sage, Palo Santo, running all of these air purifiers. My sister's been sending me some contraband,
Well.
Lysol,
Uh-huh.
and wipes. Hand sanitizing.
Mm-hmm.
We got all types of things happening over here under the force field. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then just add just a little side of being placed on the altar daily.
Right.
He's protected over here.
Covered.
But I was concerned about her. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my goodness, because as a co-parent support person to this child, sis, I need you to stay alive forever.
Amen.
Forever. Like
And ever.
I need you to stay alive. We gotta raise this baby up. We need you to be healthy, sis. We need you to be in your right
Yes.
mind so that you can continue to do all the things that you want to do to make yourself happy.
Yes.
You is a happy him. And so
Yes.
it's important, sis, that you stay healthy. And I was concerned that if something happens to her, how that was going to not only affect her family, this kid, like
Right.
us, like it just all is so you can't like make moves, like you can't move like you used to move
You can't.
pre-COVID. And I don't know if everybody is taking
Mentally
that
shifted.
into consideration, mentally
Yes.
shifted, and or are we at the point where people are like, whatever, I'm not gonna live like this anymore. I'm just gonna go out here and just do whatever it is I want to do. And I shared this on a previous
Episode.
show,
Mm-hmm.
that in previous episode, that if you are not wearing your mask, I am assuming that you've already had COVID,
Mm-hmm.
which in my head makes me feel like you are more susceptible to catch it again because
Mm-hmm.
it's already doing well in your system. That's how you
Okay.
got it. Or you don't care about me, and I'm just not going to afford anybody who doesn't care about me, whether you know me or not, to be in my safe bubble. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard to manage that. So to your friend who wants to come back over
Mm-hmm.
and say hello.
Hey, and I wants to hear that hello. I wants to.
Let's be clear.
See, it's a tough sis. Do you see the dilemma?
I see the dilemma.
This is when I tell you it is rough in pre-COVID, and now it's cuffing season. And now I have an opportunity to have some company I'm familiar with and I like. Familiar company.
Yes.
I could get a few needs met. Not only some boxes moved, but some cobwebs dusted.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dusting of the cobwebs is a natural and necessary occurring phenomenon.
Listen, dewy flower is just, all to do is just store it up, and I just
gotta have somewhere to go.
Have mercy. Have mercy. That is the thing that I have hated the most about the quarantine. Because, since I was in a store, and even through the mask, I heard the deep baritone, Barry White sounding voice. Sis, you want that, You want that scratch off ticket? I wasn't even buying a lottery scratch off ticket that day, sis. But do you think I was gonna tell that fine brother? His eyes look nice. They big old round. He had eyes that was soulful, like oh my F's, but they were a lighter brown. Girl, I'll take that $5 ticket.
Sure, brother.
And your phone number.
Wow, just in case. Just in case. I need some assistance in figuring out how to scratch this thing here off.
Oh no. Girl, I miss men. I just hate it. You know, it's football season. You know your girl when I'm single during football season, where I'm at the sports bar. What am I doing? Chatting, flirting. What is she doing? Enjoying the fall flirtation.
Yes. Seeing people who are in the world enjoying their Sunday or Monday or Thursday, because you get 3 opportunities normally during football season to, because maybe you can't go out on Sunday because you got other things going on. Maybe you got a job. Maybe Monday is your off day. So Monday, the Monday brother is different than the Thursday brother, which is different than the Sunday brother.
Very.
Now, brothers, if you is in the sports bar on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday,
you're not the one for these. Not the one for me.
Barring the fact that you just like to be outside and you yourself may be feeling a little alone, we will not dismiss that as an opportunity of acknowledgement. But if you at the sports bar, all of the 3 football days.
I'm wondering what's wrong with your cable, or you got that itty bitty hashi-tashi. Remember that from Martin? Hashi-tashi 2000. Hashi-tashi 2000. He had to take that back. Nothing but the joint account. Nothing but the joint account, Gina. It's one of my favorite. So I've been really excited about the things that are happening at Netflix with the Strong Black Lead, that whole program there, Sylvia Odell and her girl, they got the podcast running. But baby, they are giving me all of my 80s and 90s happy life. They are giving me one-on-one, sister, the Parkers, with the half and half, which I love. Valerie Pettiford, I'm following her on Instagram. I love her. She was Big D on Half and Half, and she's also the mother on Family Business. Which, girl, have you checked out Family Business?
I have checked out the Family Business.
Junior. I know he married in real life and got a baby. God bless them and their family. I love Family Life. That ain't what this is. But Junior, that's Sean Ringold, however you say his name. He got a complicated black kind of whitish sounding name. I don't know. But Junior, that character, I want to see if he's gonna make it or if Tretch gonna end him, girl.
It's just it's
a good show.
That's good TV. Yes, very excited when Netflix added Moesha, the game.
Moesha, right? It's on there.
The Girlfriends, the Parkers, half and half, one-on-one. Like what they're doing on at Strong Black Lead is just an amazing opportunity. There's a quote here from the manager at Strong Black Lead, Jasmine Lawson, and she said, "These classics have been at the top of our members' wish list and ours for a long time, and she ain't never lied."
Okay, we with you, Jasmine.
We was with you.
Keep it up.
Keep it up, absolutely.
Now, there is one thing, sis. There is one thing. Netflix, when I am binge watching, it would be nice to know like what next. I get it. It's the next episode coming up, but I would love to know what episode I'm on, what season I'm on. So maybe just right before the words next episode, kind of put like season 1, episode 3, S1, E3.
Just come on with the user
something
research.
The user reads.
on with
Come
the
on.
research. How many
We
times
watch it.
you person watching Netflix, you out there Pisces listener person watching
Yes.
Netflix, you done got all into this show, especially if it's one that's 30 shows where you can flow through those
Girl.
you look up 3 hours later, you 6 shows in.
Right?
It would just be nice so that you know where you left off at, because what
Yes.
you do is, especially if you're using the Comcast browser to access
Ooh.
your Netflix situation, which isn't
Them.
necessarily as well integrated as I would like.
Mm.
They should have called Assist so that we could have some API conversations.
Okay.
So we could figure out how those things would connect a little bit better. But then you don't know which one you own. So then you got to go back and you got to read
Look for
every
the line.
description. And because sometimes it don't even do the line. You be
Right.
like, where I leave off at?
Now, I'm not going to lie. If you sharing the Netflix account, I'm not. Now, listen here, Netflix. I'm not saying you need to change all your user access points and interactions. I'm not saying that at all. But it would be nice. That's why I've got my own little profile. Shout out to the sorors who helped this auntie stay current with the apps and whatnot for her entertainment. Because let me tell you, when Comcast, yes, Comcast, when they cut me off during the pandemic, it was the apps that saved me.
It was the apps that saved you, sis. You cut the cord and you didn't even know you needed to.
I did, girl. It gives you a whole new perspective.
It does, and it helps you to revisit the old shows that maybe
Girl.
you missed because you was too busy in your life at the time, or maybe not even in the right mindset
to enjoy,
to enjoy it.
Re-enjoy.
Come on.
To re-enjoy. Well, listen, sis, we done solved all the world's problem. Basically, if you take nothing else away from this conversation, remember that we are in a pandemic yet and still.
Come on.
Numbers are yet climbing in both Illinois and Michigan. I mean, sis, exponential. I would not be surprised if we join our friends over across the pond, over in London and Europe, over there in the UK. They are back on lockdown at the highest level.
Back on lockdown.
They're not playing with it.
Not playing with it, but we said this.
We said
Y'all just did not listen.
We have been trying to be patient with you people and telling you. I'm to the point, sis, I'll risk it. If I see you and you don't have a mask, and really pray about this with me, sis.
Okay.
I've been thinking about, next time I'm at the dollar store, I'm going to grab me them little single disposable masks. And maybe I'm just going to, bless a little person that I see maskless and say, let me not assume you being a jerk and not caring about me and my health and yours and your health too. Maybe you don't have the means. And then I'd feel better in my conscience and in my chakras if I went on ahead and gave you one of these masks, because then I know you had one.
I'm all about the one serving mask dispenser. Ooh.
Okay.
Copyright.
Copyright.
Trademark. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. I will come. I will come to you. Because just like we are able to pull the wet naps, sanitary wipes.
Come on.
From the situation, the disinfectant wipes from the situation that wipe out the carts.
Yes.
You should be able to, everybody should be able to pull a pack down. You put your little mask on, get your little wipes, put on some gloves, like.
Kindly.
Can we? It's okay. I understand that it is uncomfortable. I understand when you are like me, going through the change of life. I wish the change of life will declare itself done, though. It's like, I understand when you're covering up your breathing apparatus situation, you get your internal heat and your external heat, and
girl,
a couple times I done got dizzy. I mean, it's just, but it don't matter.
Fall out.
If I fall out, I'm gonna still be safe. Is what I'm saying.
Hello.
Just mark me safe.
Safe.
So I understand it's uncomfortable, and you want to feel free. There's just this feeling of not being free about the faith.
Yes. It's something.
is terrible for some.
It is. It is.
Just
I'm a
do
very
your best.
right.
Do your level best.
Level best, please. We need you. You know, I saw a lady in the store, sis, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and I just felt the need to say, I'm smiling behind my mask because I wasn't sure if my eyes, you know, I had to go back to America's Next Top Model. You know, them old seasons where, you know, Tyra Banks was showing you how to smile with your eyes, how to smile, you know. And I just don't want anyone to think that I'm grimming you, you know, because I also can have a very confused, I don't have a poker face, as you know, I don't. And sometimes behind my mask, I'm thinking about, you know, where are my gloves? Did I sanitize off? I'm calculating ratio to cars to people who could possibly be in the place. You should just see me. I'm a nervous wreck. I can't.
It's just a lot. It is a
It's
lot.
a lot.
I would just encourage you all to, and you as well, sis,
Yes.
to work your deep breathing and all of your de-escalations around anxiety. Work some of those practices into your life. So deep breathing,
Yes.
guided imagery, you know, so right before you go into a place and you like, it's about to be 7 more people in this mud than I would feel comfortable with, take 5 minutes and do a guided imagery exercise. Think about the last beautiful place you visited and close your eyes and walk in your mind through that experience. Breathe deeply and in through your nose, out through your mouth. Some folks can count back from 20 and taking deep cleansing breaths in between. Some people chant, some people pray. Some people take a shot of Jack Daniels. I'm not mad at you if that's what you need to calm your nerves in this situation. But practice some of those de-escalation of anxiety triggers as a way to help manage when you do have to move around in this world and to prepare yourself for your safety protocols, whatever that is.
Thank you so much.
Just stay safe, y'all. We love y'all. This has been yet another edition of the Pisces Life. I know we didn't introduce the show, but you know how it go. Y'all know it was us.
You know it was us. Hey, how y'all doing?
So if y'all have any questions or comments or suggestions, please send that to us at thepisceslife@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We are on interwebs. We are on those interwebs, y'all. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We are the Pisces Life. On Twitter, we are Pisces Podcast, 2 words. Sis, if they're looking for you, where can they find you?
They can find me masked up, gloved up, and keeping it safe at I am just Letitia, Letitia at I am just Letitia. Instagram sugar daddies, though, could y'all ease up off of me? What is that?
I know she announced that it was cuffing season, but you know, there's like a screening process for over there. So you just can't jump in there and be like offering, you know, yourself.
Right.
I'm not saying that yourself ain't a good offering up.
Not just saying that.
Just saying. One step at a time. One step at a time.
It's just that they looking for you, girl. Keeping everybody safe in all the ways that you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Where can they find you?
And encouraging good communication in the places and spaces I occupy. People can find me on the interwebs. I'm on Twitter as Kai Loves You, KAILOVESU. I am also on Instagram as Kai Loves You 2, add the number to it. We are out of here, y'all. Take care. Peace.
2 fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces Life.